Since the beginning of 2015, the Northeast Nigerian has witnessed an increase in violence perpetrated by non-state armed groups. And this crisis has led to about millions of lives being displaced from their own house. This crisis was referred as being severe because about 8 million people are seriously in need of humanitarian assistance at the moment. While this remains the major focus of both external and internal media, there are other news happening in Nigeria. We bear to tell you today that there are many young Nigerians making great contribution to our economy at today. And today on new episode of Billionaire Brand, I have an amazing and beautiful young lady in front of me. But before I reveal her to you, my name is Taiwo Peace Oyeniyi. Let's go on this amazing journey. Oluwatobi, it's nice having you around today.
Thanks for having me.
Finally, you are here.
Yes, finally.
I was telling people that you have an amazing profile, but for the people that are seeing you for the first time, who is Tobi?
Okay. My name is Tobi. I studied at Sola-Abiola University. I also studied entrepreneurial management at the Pan-Atlantic University. Okay, some people know it as Lagos Business School, but it's the Enterprise Development Center arm of Pan-Atlantic University. There I went. Then that's basically all for now.
Okay, then, okay, let me help you.
Okay.
Let's chronicle your journey into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
How did it start?
Okay, so it started by me volunteering for somebody, and the person said, "Oh, Toby, I need to exhibit somewhere." And I said, "Oh, no problem, I'll exhibit." Since I was transitioning between jobs at the time, and so I volunteered to exhibit at Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And when I got there, I found out that it was an exhibition to welcome entrepreneurs for a training. And I was like, how come I didn't hear about this? And then I'm volunteering and all that. And so I asked and said, how do I become a part of this? And somehow, they were still accepting applications. And that was how I got into the entrepreneurship journey, learning. And so I got my first experience or learning entrepreneurship with the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And then from there, because I'd already had a business idea, but it was just let me sell to family, let me just sell to friends and see what becomes of it, well, till I get another corporate job. So I was transitioning at the time. And 4 years down the line, here I am today,
No, that is summary. Don't worry, I'll help you.
Okay.
You say shea butter. But before then, after your service, I want to hear, what's job life like? As in where you're living then and...
Okay, so after my university education, I worked with a property development company in Ikoyi. I liked what I used to do there because I was the PA to the MD, wearing heels, looking serious and doing all that. But then I was living in Mowi. So I would wake up early, hustle, get to Ikoyi, I'm tired and all. But because I enjoyed sometimes I even drive my bus to Lekki again. So I was doing driver stroke, PA and all that. And so I did that for almost 2 years. And there was a time, that was before NYSC and during NYSC. So towards the end of my NYSC, I just thought about it and said, okay, I need time to just relax and then resume fully. Because, most times when people go for youth service, it's always a time to enjoy. But me, I was already in the 9 to 5, in fact, maybe like 5 to 10 life. I know. So I told my boss about it and he said, oh, Toby, you're so valuable to this organization. Go on your 4 months break. When you come back, we know that you're really, really going to get on the job, And I went. And then my friends were applying for jobs. Say me. Waiting for me. And so after youth service, I went back to the organization and my boss said, Toby, we're restructuring at the moment. Come back next month. And I went, see me, instead of me to apply, I didn't apply. I went. And when I came back, he was like, no, Toby, actually, something. She gave another reason and all. that was when reality dawned on me that, baby, you're jobless, so you don't have anything you're doing with your life, like seriously. And so I began applying for
different jobs.
And I got some, but it wasn't what I wanted. It's now made me have a test for more. I could become more. I could, and please, with all due respect, being a personal assistant in fact, is an amazing job.
Of course.
Because it gives you leverage, it connects you.
I understand
you understand
what you're saying,
yeah. So I just began to test for more, basically. And so I thought about childhood experiences and what were the things that formed my being at the time when I started the business. And so I remembered an experience where my sister had a skin irritation. She's light-skinned anyway. And my parents had taken her, tried everything, use this one tonight, use this one the following night. And nothing seemed to work. And so my grandma came from Oshobo, my grandma of blessed memory. Came from Oshobo then. And so, as children, we're all excited and said, grandma, what did you bring for us and all that? And my grandma just brought her this substance tied in a black nylon, very unattractive. It was smelling. And immediately she opened it. And as children, everybody just ran away and all. But because my sister was the one that needed, a solution to what it was that was affecting her, they had to grab her and use it. And within 3 days, the stuff cleared out completely. Well, till now, I don't think my sister, she doesn't have that skin irritation again. And so, after the point where I found out that I was actually jobless, I thought about that product. And all I remembered was I was Ori. And so I began to research, where can Ori be found? I traveled to Oyo State and then researched, lived with the rural women, and I found out the extraction process, what the seeds look like. I went through the whole process to find out what it was about the product. And so as children, I just imagined if children were to use this product, what would be the things that would attract them? First of all, the smell. That's why we have different variants: strawberry, vanilla, minty. And then there's native too, because there's some people that would say, I don't mind the smell. And so native is for those people. And then it wasn't properly packaged. Remember I said my grandma brought it out in a dirty nylon. And I worked on the packaging too. And then one thing about shea butter is that it's mostly in molds. So it's sometimes difficult to penetrate. So that's why we also have it very fluffy. So those were the things we worked on, basically.
Oh. Sorry guys, we have to take a break now. When we return, I'm still going to talk to Toby more about it. Welcome back. Sorry for the other break in transmission. We have to do something quickly. Now, if you're just looking at this, this is a sample of the container of shea butter, and I can attest to it. I'm a client, and this is an amazing. I'm doing an advertiser job for her.
Thank you.
So now you're saying something before we cut off. I think you were talking about your product and the kind of flavor you have. Now, if I might ask you, what inspired all the strawberry, vanilla? How do you come up with the idea?
Okay, so basically, because of children, we wanted something that they could identify with. And because it's easy to get the children to do the advert for us, or to get the money from the parents, basically. So when a child says, Mommy, I want strawberry, Mommy, I want vanilla, away from the regular it's easy, and by the time they keep on pestering you, there's no how, you just bring out the money. So basically we used variants that they could identify with primarily.
You know, one of the things about Nigerian that I like is we are blessed in so many things, and it's amazing that many Nigerians don't know this. For instance, this shea butter, when I was growing up, I also have a grandma. You know what she does with shea butter? I think I've shared with you before. She hates her own. She used it to take pap.
True.
So she told us that there are edible shea butter.
Yes.
So now, how do you differentiate that, or do you have any plans to? Because I know that is more medicinal than all this butter people are taking now.
Okay, so shea butter is actually edible, like you rightly said. But you know, most times it's because of the processing that does not make people want to take shea butter. Because one, by the time you see it, it may have deaths, obviously. Then there are times where when you buy it in the market, it's open. You know, the women in the market are pouring water, doing all those things. So those things
Sorry,
actually,
Toby.
yes.
My grandma was a very neat person. In fact, she can beat you to hell if she finds death on you. Now, when I said she has this bowl she normally use, very clean bowl, and the thing will look pure white. When she put it on a pap, the thing will suddenly become golden color, and you will love even looking at it. It will become gold, like from white, the thing will just melt, and by the time you taste it, I can still remember the taste. It doesn't smell like the normal or this. It looks nice, and maybe the way she packaged it, but
No,
you know, then we don't create interest in all this thing because we just feel like
Yes.
it's a local stuff, and maybe that is one of the things, because I believe if we can work more on that, don't you think
And
it's
then
also?
yes, it's also as a result of the processing. So for example, when the oil in the production process, when the oil gets burnt, that's when it begins to have a sour taste. It begins to smell really, really concentrated. So most times people are not yet, they've not yet perfected the production process. And another thing that affects that majorly in this part of the world, which is Nigeria, is lack of machinery. You know, because for example in Ghana, their government has invested so much in the production of shea butter, which they've advanced. They don't use the manual processing again. They don't do the manual processing again, unlike Nigeria, where, you know, and that is very subject to errors.
Okay, I see. Now, let's go back to your history again. We have talked business a while now. Now, you started maybe after you hunt for job, nothing is coming forth, and you just feel, okay, this is something I can lay my hand upon. And so are there times when you just feel like maybe I should just put this thing aside and join the race of 9 to 5 again?
Yes. You know, because this product is not an everyday sales product. So for example, when people buy today, you give them a particular number before they buy again. So there are times when sales are not as high as they should be. So sometimes I just okay, who send me at least salary steady? Do you understand? So yeah, there are times, and then at other times when I feel that I should stop is when there are production errors. You know, because you cannot take. If you notice that there are errors visibly in some products, and they are in fact it's bound to happen in production, what do you then do? Do you still sell it and say people will not know? But if you're trying to keep up a particular standard, you know, you have to keep going through that sacrifice. And then there was a particular time, so I ordered raw shea butter from the rural women that we work with, and by the time it got to us, it was a different color from what I usually use, and then I couldn't even send it back. And so at that time, and it was a large order, and then I just said, I'm not doing it again. As in, I was already tired, and so I left. I'll just wake up, look at it. That's the end. Anybody that wants your butter can come and take me. I'm not doing it again. I know. And so I got a call from the rural women, and they just said, "Hello, auntie. How are you?" In Yoruba. I'm translating. "How are you? Are you not helping us to buy again?" They say Oja Oya. That means, you know,
No market.
No market. And so in my mind, I was thinking that these people actually depend on my business. They depend on me for survival. So it's a reason to continue doing what I'm doing. So that was how I continued that particular, from that particular phase. The most recent one that happened, I traveled, and then by the time I came back, you know, I visited the factory, and as I was coming in, I just smelled vanilla everywhere. And as I was coming up, I said, "Jesus, Lord have mercy, Jesus." I just dropped my bag, dropped everything, opened the door, and immediately I just saw, I knew it was vanilla because I could smell it dripping down the staircase. And, you know, my mind was like, okay. As in, my heart was beating really fast. And by the time I saw, it was the biggest keg of our oil. And I just looked at it, said, "Thank you, Lord." And I just left it there, you know, because that was, it was painful. It was very painful. But then again, I just thought about those rural women. Am I going to give up because of them? No way. And so that's how I picked.
Interesting. Now, to the final question before I ask you other things. When is shea butter this nature going to become a billion-naira brand?
Okay, a billion-naira brand, you say? Realistically, 7 years, in 7 years' time.
From now?
From now, yes.
That is 2026?
Yes, 2026. It could be shorter. Anytime. It can be January 1.
But 7 years from now?
7 years from now, realistically.
Now, for people who are seeing us at home, what are the things you like to tell them that I didn't ask you? Is there any message you want to give?
Well, this has been resonating in my heart for a while. And I just want to say that don't despise the days of little beginnings. Don't trivialize the fact that you're just starting. You never can tell what tomorrow would be. So don't give up. Just keep on pushing. Don't give up. Yeah.
Thank you, Toby. That is an amazing word. And I think that's a wrap. I don't have more to add to that. What I will just add to that is, if you're going to start, now is the time to start. Don't wait till tomorrow. Now is the time. See you next time.